Mr. Speaker, this is mandatory. So I want to draw your attention and the attention of this House to the utterances made by General Muhoozi who happens to be CDF. First, that after his father is a president, no civilian will be a president in Uganda. But two, I hear people who are jeering. Two, that as a CDF, he has now endorsed the NRM chairman for the next presidential elections. These two issues go against the core principles of this constitution. That a CDF, a military officer, is endorsing a candidate of a political party. But two is also issuing threats that no civilian will be a president after his father. So the procedural issue I am raising, Mr. Speaker, that the army will not allow, is whether the Minister of Defense must not be asked to account for these statements. So we have UPDF officers who are here. Most of the time they are be quiet. They fear to tarnish the name of UPDF. But there is one who consistently breaking all the limitations in the Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, the procedural issue, because we took the same oath. You remember, even before you became a Deputy Speaker, we all took the same oath and made an undertaking, we shall protect the Constitution. The constitutional order is being overthrown when we are looking on. So Mr. Speaker, can you, using your power, ask government to explain why a particular UPDF officer can be allowed to overthrow the Constitution, announce which candidate to support, and issuing threat to civilian that he will not allow, or the army will not allow a civilian to be president in Uganda.
Thank you, Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I appreciate the matters raised by the Honourable MP Ssemujju. One, I want to say that Article 208, which says UPDF shall be subject to civilian authority, does not take away a right to have an opinion, freedom of expression, the rights and freedoms enshrined in Article.
No, Honourable colleagues, Honourable colleagues, here we receive opinions. Whether you accept it or not, whether popular or unpopular, this is where someone should stand up freely, okay, and speak. So let's give the Attorney General a chance. He submits, then you can rebuttal. Yes, but now if you don't want him to speak, if you don't want him to express his opinion, and you remember a honorable member has asked me that I should ask government, and I've asked government. This is the chief advisor of government. Where else would I go? So please, Honorable Attorney General, complete your point.
Chapter 4 of the Constitution is one in which the Bill of Rights is enshrined. And at no time does the Constitution tell us that Article 208 ousts Chapter 4 of the Constitution. Being a military man does not put you outside the ambits of Chapter 4 of the Constitution. You retain the right to express yourself. You retain the right to form an opinion. It would be different. It would be different if he was ferrying ballot papers and voter materials for a particular party. And even then, if he has to do it for security purposes under the circumstances, each case would be adjudged based on its facts. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Since we allowed the Attorney General, we can also hear from the Shadow Attorney General.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. All along I thought I went to the same law school with my old friend until today. Well, I'm not saying that I'm disappointed because he has expressed his opinion, but I think it is vulgarizing a very important matter which one of Ssemujju has raised. That a serving military officer who is at the helm of the UPDF currently comes up and makes statements which not only contravene Article 208 of the Constitution, but also the UPDF Act itself. And an Attorney General comes and defends that kind of conduct as part of the freedoms of expression and opinion, well knowing that some freedoms are subject to the law.
Just sorry for interruption, Honorable Nwagaba. Some of us are not in social media and all that. Where are these statements? Because there are things being referred to. No, because it seems there are statements which some people have read, some of us have not read. If one could lay it on the table, it would help some of us. Okay? Yes. No, I'm just asking honestly. Because if we take it that everyone is on social media waiting for statements and all that, okay? So if we can lay on table, Honorable Soro, you want to lay your phone on table?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to lay my phone, which has the Twitter official accounts of the CDF.
Please lay, describe your phone and lay. But just Honorable Segon, I said the one's head.
Honorable Speaker, you know, under the same Constitution, a person is innocent until he pleads guilty or until he is found to be guilty. When you passed over the mantle to the executive, and the executive owned up as a fact but defended on the law, I was relieved. The executive, which you were asking to respond, I had expected them to say we shall investigate, but because they knew, they did not undertake to investigate. But owing to the seriousness of this matter, Mr. Speaker, I thought, with your guidance, that the right way of dealing with this would be to refer the matter to an investigation, irrespective of who is involved, because it is about our life, it is about the safety of everybody in this country. It is a matter that should be investigated. I went to the same law school, not only law school, but same high school with the Honorable Attorney General Kafuzi. I am not disappointed, because one core thing we were taught is to express the opinion. And the Supreme Court of this land has ruled in Andrew Mwenda and Charles Onyango, both versus Attorney General, that a person has the right to express even a wrong opinion. I was going to say, outside Parliament, I say even a stupid opinion. But fearing you where you're seated, Mr. Speaker, I opted to refrain. My appeal to you, sir, and to this House, for the safety of this country and everybody, is subject to this one investigation so that we have my brother, Kainerugaba, to also say I said, I did not say, I was not in my usual mood or something else. So we give him a right to defend himself.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Honorable colleagues, the UPDF has its code of conduct, has its disciplinary procedures. If any member of the UPDF violates their code of conduct, they are subjected to their disciplinary. I have seen generals going there. I have seen senior officers going there. So I don't want Parliament to turn itself into an investigative body where before the institution can utilize its own mechanisms in case there was a problem. In case there was a problem. So really, I am not going to be referring this matter to a committee for investigation. We have a lot of business to handle here. Let us leave institutions to handle theirs. But Honorable Mwagaba conclude.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Information, okay.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to give information to my Shadow Attorney General. I was the Shadow Minister responsible for Defense and Veteran Affairs in this Parliament. And the Ministry of Defense, fully constituted, came and appeared before our committee. The Honorable Vincent Ssemujju, who was the minister, headed that delegation, supported by the State Minister then, who is now the Minister, Honorable both, and then the CDF then, Honorable Mbadi, who is here. They came. I put this question to them. I told them that we have a serving military officer who appears to be above the law and is contradicting an act of Parliament. When I began to ask the question, the Honorable Ssemujju immediately felt some cold and rushed out of the committee meeting here in Parliament. The Honorable both immediately took a phone call and said, I'm coming back, literally running away. The CDF who had the command, and I challenged him, and the colleagues who sit on the committee was there, he said, as the army commander, can't you issue orders? The CDF Mbadi said, do not cause me trouble. And said, please leave me alone. So the question we are dealing with.
So why does Ssemujju want to cause us trouble? If that's the issue.
So, Mr. Speaker, so first I want to give that information, but now, Mr. Speaker, you also see that the trouble wants to come to you.
No,
but the issue
I
now,
hope Honorable Ssemujju has heard. Yeah, you've given him good advice.
Yes, but beyond that, Mr. Speaker, in the Act, there are provisions for the minister to make regulations. And there are so many regulations that have been made. The last one that I had and I saw the president launching it was called the UPDF establishment. By law, every regulation made by the minister must come before this Parliament so that we can scrutinize to see whether they conform to the spirit and letter of the law that we have made here. That act has not come. But I saw the president and the people who briefly explained say the commander-in-chief, who is given powers by the Constitution and the Act, has now delegated some powers as a commander-in-chief to somebody else. That is extremely contradictory to what we have here. Because, as you know, the commander-in-chief is protected, he has immunity, and etc. I therefore want to request that you prevail over the Ministry of Defense to bring that act here, that regulation, the UPDF establishment, so that we can interrogate the powers that the policy, the regulation has given to the CDF. He may be acting because the powers are provided in that, so that we can nullify it. Otherwise, one day we'll wake up and then you will find that there is no government elected by the people and someone is prevailing over a government which is unconstitutional. It's a danger that we should take care of. That's the information I'm giving.
Attorney General, specific on that issue of UPDF establishment.
Right Honorable Speaker, I will send it to Oduru Jonathan, my honorable colleague. Yes, there are regulations made. And if you are concerned that they have not been tabled in Parliament for purposes of perusal, the Ministry of Defense can do that because it is well within the right of Parliament. Be that as it may, my senior colleagues, the Shadow Attorney General, and my former head boy, the Honorable Segona, cannot legally point to any clause in the Constitution that ousts anyone's right to freedom of conscience, expression, and having an opinion. Now, unless if you are telling us that the Constitution has a conflict within itself, which no court has made a pronouncement on, the status quo remains. I beg to submit.
Honorable, how I've closed it is how it has been closed. Because I pronounce myself, I pronounce myself twice. Number one, that this is a matter, if it violates any law to do with the UPDF, it has its disciplinary procedures. It will handle. Number two, the official spokesperson of government is here. Okay? Official spokesperson. Is this a government statement? An official statement of government?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. And thank you, Honourable Ssemujju, for raising the issue. In the government, there is a formal way government officers communicate for that to be an official communication of government. For instance, I speak for government, but I cannot just be at a party and we are conversing, and then you take my conversation to be a government policy and so forth. So what General Muhoozi Kainerugaba commented was just a casual comment, which we do not take. Yes, there is a formal way. There is a formal way through which UPDF communicates.
Point of order, Honorable Ssemujju.
With due respect to the information, Mr. Speaker, sir, on the front bench here, the front bench, it's only one person who is appointed the minister basing on his qualification. That's the Attorney General. And the reason why it's given that kind of attention is because it's going to be a legal advice of government. Here we are. You, Mr. Speaker, you have stated already that you cannot make a determination in this House because UPDF has its own administrative structure. Now here we're having a Minister of Information still confirming the same illegality, mischief, that when you say that you have a method of communication as government, and one of your government officials goes out of the method of communication, it becomes illegal. So we have seen sons of first presidents. Obote's son is here.
Your point of
Tito
order,
Okello's son is here. So the point of order I'm raising, is it in order, Mr. Speaker, for the Minister of Information, who is on the floor, who could come in to give a better remedy that can change and solve the mischief we are seeing, to continue giving it more appetizers on the floor of Parliament. We have seen many members of Parliament who have praised the government, Museveni and his son, and they have lost here. You know what's happening to Atibu Katoto?
He was ever shouting here, singing every song about NRM. Where he's looking for Museveni, he can't get him. Go and ask Katota.
Honorable, your point of
so
order.
is in order.
Thank you.
To continue.
Thank you.
Misbehaving because of the things.
Thank you.
He's only got.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I guided on this matter, okay? I guided on this matter. Secretary General of PLU, do you... Honorable Minister, I will allow you to conclude.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I would just request you, Right Honorable Speaker, that you use your powers and request or ask Honorable Ssemujju to read the message, because he said that this message is on the official account of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Let him read the message, because you cannot challenge something that is not there. The Twitter message that they are talking about, have checked on the account of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and it is not there. So why should we really waste our time on something that is not on the account of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba?
Now, honorable colleagues, these are administrative issues for the UPDF. Let's close it from here. Let's close it from here. Honorable Fidra.